All right. Like I was saying, um, do I believe that physically the testosterone stuff injections are helping me? Absolutely. I was low. My numbers are down at 201. I wasn't shy about that. And at my age, they should easily be well over 600, if not 800. And so therefore, yes, it's benefiting. Needed. But am I just benefiting from that? No. My new relationship with God, my understanding of my relationship with God is definitely helping. And not just helping me mentally, to keep me moving on days I'm particularly sore, days where I just don't want to do it. But just knowing that, I don't know, I'll get back to that at a later time. But yeah, the benefit I'm getting physically is without question. With my numbers, I would say on most exercises, are almost double what they were when I started. Now again, I'll be curious to see what that means to look at when I review this and edit this film. And I haven't done that. I haven't seen myself like that yet, but so I will be interested to see what benefit that has. But one of the benefits that I know I get in the aspect of my new relationship with God is I think of things different, because even when I started this, again, I was trying to curb myself from judging myself, or however you want to call it, to interfere with what I'm doing, when now my better understanding is if I'm getting where I need to be, then clearly I'm doing some of the right stuff, which developing a relationship with God is, yeah, definitely good stuff. But if I'm not physically, when I look at it, if I'm not where I want to be, where I think I should be, it's not going to bother me like it did before. Because I realized that he just wants to work harder for what it is I'm trying for. Because he knows what my goals are for getting in shape. And if he just needs to keep pushing me to make me work harder to get in the shape for that, then so be it. But, and, you know, spoiler to the end of the story, the goal is to get healthy enough so that when I do start having grandchildren, I can be active and fit and fun with them, while at the same time having the energy and strength to do all the things I have in my mind and my heart to help other people find their way to God. I suppose the easiest way to explain how I feel about that. Alright, that one hasn't doubled since then. My 8 set was 88 pounds on this particular machine when I was starting this, and that one was, what is that one? 121 for 8. I could probably do another 8, but just an example of the difference this makes physically. And again, like I said, I've been off for a little while because I was injured and sick. And I wish I could say I actually keep the diet as tight as I should, but I don't. I don't always eat as much as I should. I definitely don't eat the amount of protein per day that optimally would allow me to gain weight, because that's kind of where I'm at with my diet. Is I just want to keep the protein high enough that I can gain the muscle I know I need to kind of fill in the areas that have been neglected, work on the health of areas that need the muscles, and overall stay fit and healthy. Yeah, the young guy I spoke with yesterday told me, he's like, oh, just start filming, you'll forget you even that it's bothering you. You don't even realize people are around. Maybe after a little while. Still feeling pretty self-conscious about it right now. Losing track of what I want to talk about a little bit, but yeah, for those who, you know, have a relationship with God, have a bit more faith, I guess. I don't know how to say it. You can see what I'm talking about, where the benefits coming from in that new walk that I'm trying to take. And for those who don't really have that belief, I get that. Well, the reality is, if you don't have that belief, well, then you believe in the physical is what's dictating everything. Well, I guess. So yeah, I would see it. That's kind of more impressive for what the T is doing, because if God's not helping me along the way, then the T is doing one heck of a good job. Because not only am I benefiting physically from the ability to recover, which is the biggest thing. We're talking about, I go, like the next day, I'll be just itching to get back in the gym. And I was having to take 2-3 days off there for a while because I was pushing hard enough that my muscles weren't recovering. And the recovery is one of the biggest things that I'm feeling. But it's the mental stuff. It's the, and the confidence. Some projects that I've wanted to get going that I was still kind of questioning, you know, is that really, can I really do that? Is that kind of above my zone type of thing? And again, a lot of it being in a relationship with God, I think. But if you don't believe that, then I guess you'd have to be impressed with the T's benefits. But I would say it's God put me in the testosterone to allow me to benefit from what He wanted me to have. However you want to look at it, it's fine. But now, just this is kind of back to being me, the poor here, I guess. There's very little doubt about what I believe I'm capable of. Again, worthy of, good enough for. I got to work on all that. I am not worthy of squat. But I believe I'm capable of doing whatever it is I set my mind to, especially now that whenever I set my mind to something, I feel like it's God pointing me in that direction. It makes believing in myself even easier, because as much as I may believe in myself, understanding that I can go as far and as high as I choose to believe in God's blessings and graces in me. I spent a lot of years believing that. Funny enough, I listened to Pastor Joby at church for 11:22, and he hammers this point home that if you're broken and just realize you're completely useless without God, you can't do anything yourself, you just hit the bottom. You're perfectly right for saving, because it makes it a lot easier to see the benefits when they start to show up, when you spent so much of your life living the other side of it. Even when in a lot of ways, if you were to be looking at my past, very large chunks of it, I full stand, 10 toes down on integrity, honesty, and belief in doing what's right. And I thought that was all it took. Now I understand it was just those things that were important to me that are just pieces of what God has in me and what He had in me. To not only help me become who it is He wants me to be, but to show, for good or bad, what others around me may need for them to find their way to Him. Bookmark that for later on when I talk about my son, Dean Ryan. But yeah, there's very little. There's no doubt in my mind that the testosterone therapy is benefiting me. I'm curious to see what it looks like. I'll throw some pictures on. I'll throw some pictures on from when I had this shirt on before I did all of this, see if we can see the difference. And I don't know, if I get the courage, maybe I'll do some mirror pictures. Always thought was a very gorish, but for this purpose it might be beneficial. But we'll see if I can get myself to do it. But for right now, I'm just going to get this workout in and get my mind locked in on that. God bless you. God bless America. God bless your families. And you know what? If you don't get anything else from this, help yourself. VA should have been helping me a long time ago. They just left me sitting out there, and I truly believe that it's a testosterone lowering that's caused, and one of my doctors now even agrees that it's probably got a lot to do with my stuff, and they still won't deal with it. It's already proven it's low, and they still won't get it for me. We need to get that system fixed. It's one of the reasons I kind of putting this advocacy stuff together, so I've got some documentation once I take my big mouth up there to push this a little harder. Shout out to Vivek Ramaswamy. You know who I am. You know what I'm looking to do. Call me. Y'all have a blessed day. God bless.